As you approach, the commotion at the top of the ridge dies down for a moment before soaring to new heights. That's him! Yes! Look at the butterflies! Hello? There's a dragon here too, you know. I'm way more interesting than a butterfly. And it was me who asked Kwame Planet to come here anyway. Who's a good little dragon? Abu's a good little dragon. Suddenly, Arueshalae stops and steps behind you. She looks rather embarrassed. I know who they are, but what if I'm a demon and... You see your old friends, the three Desna adepts from Kenabres, standing at the head of the crowd. Kwame Planet! Finally! We rushed here as soon as we heard what happened in Dresden. We brought friends too, except we've only just met some of them. Allow me to introduce them. Matrice Ola Devara, the illustrious exiled alchemist. Those formidable warriors there are halflings from the temple of Childera Zazastrian, the goddess of battle and recklessness. This is the famous street artist, Maestro Aventurine, a pseudonym, of course. Rare is the administrative building in Avestan that has escaped his brush. And here in front, we have our mounted gnomish contingent, the cavalry sculptors. We have all come here to help you fight the forces of the abyss. Why was Matrice Ola exiled? Prejudice, that's why. The disheveled woman shakes her head in disdain. Her clothes look as though they've been singed a dozen times over and dragged through various paints at least a dozen times more. For some reason, people are suspicious of alchemists who worship Caden Kalian. They also consider my experiments dangerous, which is utterly preposterous for one. Science comes at a price, after all, and besides, it wasn't I who caused that explosion back in Absalon and raised half a block. I mean, I wasn't even there. Still, now that I'm surrounded by open-minded people, I'll be able to unleash my talents and show those demons that bombs can protect us as well as any prayers. What are the goddess Chaldera and her worshippers famous for? A belligerent-looking halfling salutes you with his sword. Chaldera is the goddess of mischief, battle, and luck, and a close friend of Desna, the Moon Mother. Chaldera is not the goddess of strategic planning, put it that way. As her worshippers, we charge headlong into battle, leading others into the fray, and we despise evil in all its forms. My friends and I have long wanted to support the Crusades, but this is the first time we've seen a leader we're willing to follow. An artist on a crusade? A street artist to boot? Dusty galleries and pompous patrons aren't quite my scene, is Maestro Alvin's dignified response. I only paint in places where everyone can see my work and appreciate its special meaning. I used to paint flowers and the sun on the walls of besieged forts to make the attacking armies realize they were destroying another's peace and joy. I once depicted the acts of Iomade in a painting in the middle of the Chalexian capital, not because I worship her, but rather to remind the people of Cheliax that this proud, tyrant-toppling goddess was born there. I don't yet know what I will create here in the world wound, but I feel I must play some part in the salvation of this land. Cavalry sculptors? Exactly. One of the gnomes sitting in the saddle grins happily, looking from head to toe a brigand. The cavalry sculptors are an ancient and revered gnomish society. In certain circles, that is. Our only rivals are the pikemen confectioners. But they don't have a noble legend that tells of the creation of the society. Unlike us, according to this legend, a brave gnome knight once participated in a battle that lasted many days. He had to ride into battle down one on the same path, past one in the same boulder. Soon, he was fed up with it. He started to chip off a piece of the boulder each time he rode past it, eventually carving it into a giant apple. The little game turned out to be so captivating that soon the knight's entire squad began to do the same, and then the enemy joined in too. It goes without saying that they all were gnomes. The war soon ended, but before it did, they had carved all kinds of fruit and vegetables from a dozen boulders and a couple of rocks, all while mounted too. And that is how our noble society was born. Are you all going to join my army? Of course not, Aranka replies, clearly speaking for everyone. We didn't come here to march around in neat little rows like all the crusaders who've come before us. We're here to answer the call of our hearts, and we're going to help you in every way we can. We will all do something for our cause, but we are free spirits. We take orders from no one, and we certainly do not join in other people's war games. Army discipline and the gray walls of Dresden do not stir our hearts, Kwame Planet. Yet I know that you are the wind of change we've been waiting for. In Kenabres, I witness your kindness, bravery, and tenacity. I'll follow you straight into hellfire. All of us will. But we will each tread our own path. Now, what am I going to do with you? I know what you need to do. Knight them. Ava whispers loudly. She continues, a little embarrassed as Arenka and the others look at her in surprise. I've been told many stories about Galarian, and that's what always happens in them. Kwame Planet is the knight commander, right? That means he can knight you all. Ordinary knights are a bit boring, but I know Kwame Planet will make your oath really exciting. I like the sound of that. We'll be the, Free Crusaders. What do you think, Kwame Planet? Just make up an oath for us so we can be knighted. And then we'll start our campaign against the demons and they will tremble before us. Requires a Zada mythic path. Sing the song of Elysium. Arenka the bard joins in the song, her voice strong and clear. The rest begin to sing along. And then... Ooh, oh, wow! What was that? Where did it come from? I'll bet a jar of strawberry jam it came straight from Elysium. I don't have any strawberry jam, but still. The big grown-up dragons in my family can transform their environments like this. But how did you do it? Thal the wallflower scratches the bridge of his nose, clearly anxious. We've seen something like this happen before. Kwame Planet was back in Kenabres in the temple where we all gathered together. A glowing aura enveloped you, and we heard music that wasn't actually there. Just the same as this time. A wondrous power dwells within you, and it's growing. What are you going to do now? We'll set up camp here. Our learned friends will observe this Garden of Elysium and study it. The artists among us will start working on their art. I'll help the Chaldean halflings prepare to launch raids against the demons. The cavalry sculptors? I have no idea what they'll do, but I hope they'll keep themselves busy somehow. Drop by in a couple of weeks, will you? We'll have settled in by then, and we may even have something else to show you. But it's a secret for now. You forgot the most important part. Honestly, what would you all do without a smart little dragon like me around? Azadas have courts. The Court of Silent Laughter, for example, or the Court of the Flaming Storm. They always have such pretty names. People come to the courts freely and then stay because they like it there and have some affinity with it. That's why Kwame Planet has to give this place a name. It's his court after all. All three Desna adepts are busy. Ilks is praying, Arenka is practicing a new song, and Thal is immersed in his scrolls, stealing the occasional glance at Arenka. Point at Arueshalae. There's someone I'd like you to meet. Arueshalae's eyes go wide, and she claps her hands in a defensive gesture. Hi. I know who you are, and you probably know who I am. Ilks looks even more flabbergasted than when your powers transformed the ridge into a flowering garden. I recognize your voice. You're the one who sent us those visions and warned us about that attack on Kenabres, and you're a demon, Arueshalae says in a sad, quiet voice. The demon who helped us and who was able to use Desna's magic? I'm at a loss for words. What's your name? Why did you start helping Crusaders? Why don't you come over for tea someday? Do dreams even drink tea? Oh, there are so many things I want to ask you. As the young man gushes, Arueshalae's hands loosen their grips and she smiles weakly. My name is Arueshalae. I'll certainly take you up on your offer if I have some time to spare after the raids with the commander. I'm so thrilled to meet you all. Arueshalae turns to you and whispers, Thank you. Thank you, Kwame Planet. Those three were the first mortals who listened to me and believed me. So bright and lively, all three of them. I had no idea what they think when they found out who the voice from their dreams belonged to. I still have to tell them what I've done, how I murdered a Desna Priestess before becoming what I am. Still, I'm glad they didn't spurn me at first sight.